Sports card resellers. Stop paying sales tax. This is going to boost your profits up to 10%, and it's totally legal. I can show you how to get this done. My name is Jonny Petrucco, a small business advisor and IRS tax pro, and I'm mainly helping sports card businesses. So in the great world of taxes, the boring, complicated, unfortunate world of taxes, we have different kinds like federal income tax, payroll, state income tax, and the sales tax. So sales tax is by state, it varies. I live in Florida, which sales tax is 6% across the state, but there's even by county. So when I grew up in South Florida, the sales tax there is 7%, 1% for the county, and in Alachua County, where Gainesville is, 7.5%. Okay, it gets up to 10, 11% plus in other parts of the country. Unfortunate, but this is the situation. And so there is an advantage for resellers. And this is because sales tax is a consumption tax. Actually, there's sales and use tax. So the purpose of sales tax is the end user will need to pay that tax to the state to fund their state services. But what if you are not the end user? If you are a middleman reselling something, you should not have to pay sales tax because you're the middleman paying sales tax and then the next person pays it. There should only be one end user that consumes to pay that sales tax. Now, do you qualify as a reseller? This gets into a topic of hobby versus business. And so you should be operating as a business. This is not for those that are collectors that sell once or twice a year and would like to get the sales tax certificate to avoid paying sales tax on their personal collection. So as tempting as that is, this is for businesses, even if you're a small business, a small side hustle. You can start by increasing your profitability right away by applying for a sales tax certificate. And in a moment, I'll show you how on the state website how to do this. But here's an overview. You need to find your state Department of Revenue website. Type in sales tax registration in Google, and you'll find it with the name of your state. You'll find the website to do an application, and I'm gonna walk through this application together. Once you process that, in the mail, you'll receive your sales tax certificate. It's really quite easy. From there, make sure to file sales tax returns. Okay, that needs to be done probably quarterly. And this is where now you get the product tax-free, but you might be hit with penalties if you forget to file that. This is fantastic for eBay, right? That's an immediate place where you can put in your number. Going to retailers like Walmart, you can supply your certificate now and avoid paying sales tax. And so this is quite a wonderful opportunity. If you have not set this up, this is the way to save right away. Before jumping in, I want to show again my sports card tax packs, and these won't last forever. The link is in the description. You can win and pool a free personal tax return filed by me, tax planning, and my 8-chapter ebook. So check this out and reach out to me. All right, let's jump into do this sales tax registration. All right, let's do this application for Florida. You can do it for any state. You just change the last part, say Georgia, and then probably going to be the first hit and follow the instructions. You'll need to create an account, but for Florida, I've done this multiple times. And so, okay, if this is intimidating, just reach out to me. I can take care of this for you. But if you want to do this on your own and follow along, you will need to see the form DR1, and this is the description of it. So over here, it's 15 pages, but it'll take about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes for sure. And we're gonna not do this paper copy. You can print this out and check off the boxes. Most of this is irrelevant. I'll walk through this in a moment, but over here for an online application, which is recommended for every state, you click this Florida Business Tax Application, and it's going to prompt you to create a profile, create a user profile. So I have one already, and I will log in. I can go ahead and apply on behalf of people. You can see I have existing applications that I've applied for other people. And so I can help you out if you need, but you go ahead and do start new application after you've created an account. And then all of these questions, the first thing is new registration, typically. And then date of first taxable activity. This is usually going to be the date of your LLC. All right, we have all of these sections over here, and I'll walk through it using this paper format. So the next screen is going to show your business information, and you see date of first taxable activity. Don't stress. I mean, you want to be exact as possible, but some of this is okay if you're just estimating, like this date. All right, next one, question 3, business name. So do you have to have an LLC? It's definitely recommended to be a single member LLC, but you can be a sole proprietor as well. And so legal name of business, you can put your first and last name. And even down here, so you put your name and your address or the business name, and then your kind of your business. So if you're a sole proprietor, or most really should be a single member LLC. If a single member LLC, you're likely, if you're small, you're a disregarded entity. You'll have to make a tax election to be an S Corp, which is what I love helping people do. And that's how you're going to save a lot more money if your profit is, at least 50K. So going through this application, it'll be informational. And pretty soon, a lot of this will be irrelevant. Date of Florida incorporation. All right. And then your name, your personal information here, social security number, address. This is going to be for each member. So if you're a partnership with more than one, you'll need to put each person in here. The NAICS code. Use ChatGPT. I'm a sports card business. What is the best NAICS code? I use miscellaneous retailers. I think it's like 459999, something like that. But go ahead and just check, and it's not the end of the world if you don't get it perfect. If you're a content creator, you can also search and figure out what that is. I should have it memorized by now, but I always just double check. Okay, and so now we're on the first relevant section here. Sales and use tax. This is the section you need to fill out to get that sales tax exemption. So typically we should just do this one, sell products at retail to consumer. This one also kind of fits. Sells products or goods by mail using not catalogs, but by the internet. So it's a little gray the way you read this. You could just check both of these, or you could just check the first one. It's not a big deal. And then most of this other things should be irrelevant and left blank. Don't be overwhelmed. We're only on page 5, but the next, I would say 8 pages are going to be relevant. Okay, sales and use tax. Yeah, these are services. You can just skip through all this pretty much if you're a sports card business. Okay, still, most of this is not relevant. Solid waste, gross receipts. Yeah, that's the sales and use tax section. Reemployment tax, this is when you have an employee, or if you're an S corporation, you need to remit the unemployment insurance. So if you don't plan to have employees in Florida or your state, then you can skip this section. Do you have employees? Yes or no? This is all related to employees. Then we're almost done here. Communications, this is all going to be irrelevant. Document stamp tax, gross receipts tax, severance tax. Now for here, we want to enroll for both filing returns and paying electronically. ACH debit, be the contact person, or you can have an accountant as a contact person. And then enrolling, you have to put your bank information in here. Can't be a credit card, account and routing number, and sign. The reason you're putting a bank account is crucial. Don't forget to file the sales tax forms. So I have this saved here, this website, but here is the login. So what will happen when you finish this application, it will give you a confirmation code. And then in Florida, it's about 7 to 10 business days. They'll ship this to you. They will mail you your username and password. So over here, and they'll include your sales tax certificate number. You're going to use that to log in. And look, you can even log in with your certificate number and your business partner number. This is all going to be on the paper you receive of the address you put on there. And then you have to file quarterly sales tax. If you are only selling on eBay, you're not collecting or remitting sales tax. They're taking care of that for you. So you do need to still file a $0 income and $0 owed. If you technically are collecting sales tax through some transaction, I know at card shows, you don't see that really happening, collecting sales tax, but technically you're supposed to. If you have a retail store and with your cash register, you're collecting sales tax. So this is where you can now tell them, hey, here's how much I received, and now I'll pay this forward to you by filling out this form. I'm not going to log on here, but this is where you go. And then if you need help filing that form, happy to help, but it's pretty straightforward. Nevertheless, the goal here is you get this in the mail and you have your sales tax certificate. I'm going to make another video on how to put that into eBay and how to use that going forward. But I hope this was helpful. Walk through, reach out if you have any questions. And at Sports Card Tax Guy, I'm helping clients trade their IRS stress for financial success. Talk to you soon.